Welcome to Udayanath Autonomous College of Science and Technology. So, in today's class we will be discussing about different elements of C. That means what are the elements that make up or that build up the C programming language. So, myself Sangam Malla, working as head of the department of ITM department. So, today we will be discussing about the elements of C. So, dear viewers, you can clearly see what are the elements of C. The list of the elements of C are shown here. So, first one is your alphabets, second one is your numerals, third one is your special characters, then your identifiers, literals, keywords, operators and program. So, these are the elements of C that actually build up the C programming language. Without using these things, we cannot think of a C programming language. So, going to details of the elements of C, first we have the alphabets. That means you already know that what are alphabets. That means in C programming language we will be using the alphabets, that is the capital A to Z and small a to Z. So, these are the basic necessity of writing the program. Next comes your numerals. Numerals means you know there are 10 digits, that means from 0 to 9. That means whatever number we will be making, we will be using these numerals, that is the digits from 0 to 9. Next comes your special characters. So, what do you mean by special characters? So, actually special characters means the symbols which are used while writing a program. Every symbol has a special meaning. For example, let us say plus symbol. So, plus is used for addition, as you must be knowing it, minus for subtraction, or division, multiplication. So, these are the special symbols which are used for writing a program, and every special symbol has a specific meaning in a program. Next comes your identifier. You can clearly see what are identifiers. So, identifiers are those which identifies a variable or a function. That means what? What do you mean by identifiers? So, identifiers actually describe what a variable or a function is, or what describes a variable or a function. So, here another word is coming which is new to you, that is a variable. So, what do you mean by variable? Next you can clearly see what is a variable. So, variable is simply, it is the name of the memory location where data is stored. Its value may be changed during the execution of the program. So, what do you mean by variable? So, variable is simply, when someone will ask you what do you mean by variable, so variable is simply the name of a memory location. That means whenever we are storing something, it gets stored on a variable. But why do we call it as a variable? We call it as variable because its value may change during the execution of the program. That means suppose I will be writing x equal to 5, that means 5 is getting stored in x. So, what is x? It is the name of the memory location. That means in memory, in RAM, x will be allocated, a memory will be allocated named as x, and 5 will be stored in it. But in the next step, if I will write x equal to 6, then it will not reserve another memory with the same name as x. It will change the value of x, that is 5 to 6. That means whenever I will use the value of x, it will not show that x has a value of 5, it will show that x contains the value 6. That means here we can see that the value of x got changed from 5 to 6. That is why we call x as a variable. So, variable is the name of the memory location where data is being stored, and its value may change during the execution of a program. So, here the definition is already written. So, it is the name of the memory location where data is stored, and its value may be changed during the execution of the program. Next, there are certain rules to name a variable. That means whenever we will be writing a variable, or whenever we will be declaring a variable, there are certain rules which we must follow, otherwise the name of the variable will be wrong. That means a variable will not be allocated. So, in first point you can clearly see the variable name should start with an alphabet, not with a number. That means every variable must start with an alphabet. It must not start with a symbol or a number. Suppose for example, I will tell that x equal to 5. Yes, it is right because x is an alphabet. Suppose I will write x1 equal to 6. That is also correct, because the variable name, that is x1, it gets start with an alphabet. So, x is an alphabet, but suppose I will write 1x equal to 7, that will be wrong. Why wrong? Because 1x cannot be a variable. Why it cannot be a variable? Because it starts with an number, it does not start with an alphabet. That is why we cannot call it as a variable, that is not a valid variable. So, here you can also see there is an example that mark 1 is valid, because m is an alphabet. So, variable starts with an alphabet, or I will declare a variable as 1 mark, then it will be invalid, because it is starting with an number. So, you can clearly see the next rule, that is no special character except underscore are allowed to write a variable name. That means, in each variable name we cannot use any other special character except underscore. So, if I will write roll number by using hyphen symbol, then it becomes invalid, but when I will write the same roll number as a variable using underscore, then it will be valid, because it is the rule of variable that any special character except underscore will not be allowed within a variable name. Next rule is very clear, that is blank space is not allowed while writing a variable name. That means, if I will be using a blank space, here you can see I have written roll, then I have given a space, then I have written number, it becomes invalid, because no blank space will be allowed within a variable name. Similarly, here I have written roll number without giving any blank space. So, here the variable becomes valid. Next rule, a variable should not exceed 32 characters. That means what? A variable should have a maximum length of 32 characters. That means, suppose I am writing mark, suppose mark equal to 5, that means what is the length of the variable? mark, that means 4 characters. So, similarly, a variable name should not exceed 32 characters. That means, the length of a variable should not be more than 32 characters. If it will be more than 32 characters, then it will be invalid. So, moving to the next rule, that is variables are case sensitive. It is a very important point. Variables are case sensitive. Case sensitive means, you can clearly see here I have written roll, a variable roll in small letter, and here I have written roll in which R is capital letter. So, in this case both the variables will occupy or allocate different locations, because they are case sensitive. That means, here R is small and here R is capital letter. So, both the variables will allocate different location in the memory. Last rule for naming a variable is that any keyword or function name should not be used as variable name. That means, if you are using any command or any function, any user defined functions of C programming language as a variable name, then it will be invalid. For example, let us say we have a keyword int in C programming language. So, int cannot be used as a variable name. I cannot write that int equal to 6. So, int cannot be variable, because int or float or double like this, they are the keywords of C programming language. So, any keywords cannot be used as a variable name in C programming language. So, these are the rules to name a variables. So, these are very important, because if we make any mistake or we will break any rule while naming a variable, then those variables will not be saved or will not be allocated. Next, moving to the most important topic, that is a data type. So, you can clearly see data type is that which decides what type of value a variable is going to contain. That means, suppose I am writing x equal to 5. So, when I am writing x equal to 5, that means 5 is a number. So, before storing a number or any value to a variable, we must specify the data type of the variable. So, what do you mean by data type? So, data type actually decides what type of value a variable is going to contain. That means, what type of value we are going to store in a variable, that must be decided first. That means, if I am storing 5 in x, then x must be allocated as integer before storing the value of x, or before storing 5 in x. So, data type is the thing that decides what type of value a variable is going to contain. So in C programming language there are two data types. So first one is your primary data type and the next one is your secondary data type. So you can clearly see the images over here. So primary data type is divided into primary and secondary. Next, primary is divided into numeric and alphanumeric. Next, numeric is divided into integer and decimal. Alphanumeric is categorized as character. Similarly, secondary data type is divided into user defined and derived. Similarly, we can elaborate the primary data type as, so primary data type can be again divided as four main categories, that is your character, integer, float and void. So in case of character, there will be character, signed character, unsigned character. In integer there will be signed and unsigned of int, short int and long int. In case of float there will be three categories, that is float, double and long double, and the last one is void. So these are the main categories of data type. So broadly data type is divided into two categories, that is primary and secondary. Primary is again divided into numeric and alphanumeric. Numeric is divided into integer and decimal. Again alphanumeric is categorized as character, and secondary data type is divided as user defined and derived. So moving on to details of each data type, you can clearly see all the data types are listed here. So you could see a new term, that is your signed and unsigned. So what do you mean by signed and unsigned? So actually what happens, suppose let us say an example. So whenever I am writing x equal to 5, that means it will store plus as a value and 5 as a value. So similarly when I am writing suppose y equal to minus 10, so minus will allocate another memory and 10 will allocate another memory. So in both these cases you can clearly see that the symbol is also taking some spaces. So when I am storing any number without using signed or unsigned keyword, that means it will store the memory for both positive value or negative value and another memory for a value. So here signed character, you can clearly see signed character, its range is from minus 128 to 127 and it consumes 1 byte of memory. And there is written another field, that is a format. So we will be discussing about the format in the next classes. You can clearly see or you can go through the signed character and the range of each data type. So signed character has a value or the range of minus 128 to 127. Similarly unsigned character will definitely allocate some more memory, that is from 0 to 255. Next comes your short signed int, that ranges from minus 32768 to 32767. Similarly these are some of the data types which has this number of ranges, that means they can store this number of memory locations, and here it is written, you can clearly see these are the memory locations, that means how much byte they will allocate in the RAM and what is the maximum value they can store. So suppose I am writing long signed int and I am taking another variable, suppose x equal to a value, so the value must be within this number to this number. If any value will exceed this number or it will exceed the range, then it will not be stored. So these are the list of all the data types which has different ranges and different bytes that they allocate in the RAM. So moving to the next topic, that is the constant. So what do you mean by constant? You can clearly see the data item whose value does not change during the execution of the program is called as literal or constant. So just previously we have discussed int x equal to 5. Suppose I am writing x equal to 5. So we have clearly discussed that x is a variable because the value of x may be changed. So in the next step if I will write x equal to 5, that means the value of x has been changed, so x is called a variable. But which term or which thing we call it as a constant? Actually the value which we are storing in a variable is called a constant. That means 4 is a constant, 5 is a constant, or any value which I am storing in a variable is termed as constant. You can say why it is called as constant. If I will simply say I have written x equal to 4, then I have written x equal to 5. the value of x is changing, that means the value of x was previously 4, then it got changed to 5. But can I call 4 as 5? Suppose I am writing 4 in a whiteboard, so can you call 4 as 5? So that is why all the values are constant, because they hold a constant value. We cannot call 4 as 5. The value of x is changing, but we cannot call 4 as 5. That is why we call it as constant. So what do you mean by constant? It is already written, the data item whose value does not change during the execution of the program is called constant. So here is an example, I have written int x equal to 4. So here x is a variable because the value of x is changing, but the 4 we cannot call 4 as 5. So actually constant are also of different types. You can clearly see what are the different types of constants. So we have 4 types of constants, that is integer, real, character, string and logical. So in first case integer, you can clearly see the examples, that is written 23 minus 44 or any number that contains positive value as well as negative values. Then what are real values? So real values are those which contains actually the decimal points. So decimal points will not be considered as integer, they will be considered as real. Next is your character constant, that means if I am storing a single character in a variable, then we call it as a character constant. Similarly, if I am taking more than one character or a word which contains number of characters, then we call it as a string. And the last constant is your logical, that means AND operator and or operator, these are called the constants, which we will be discussing in the next slides. So next we will be discussing about operator. So operator are the special symbols which are used to perform a specific operation in an expression. So operator bring relation in between values of variables. So what do you mean by operator? So actually what operator is, so operator are the special symbols, all the special symbols that are being used in a C programming language are termed as your operators. So we are using plus symbol, minus symbol and many symbols, division, multiplication, exclamation and many symbols we are using. All these symbols will be considered as the operators. So operators are those which bring a special meaning or relation in between the variables or among the keywords of the programming language, of the C programming language. Next you can see what are operands. The values or variables on which the operator performs the specific task are called as operands. That means suppose for example, let us say expression is written x equal to y plus 59. You can clearly see there are two symbols, that is equal to and plus symbol. So equal to and plus will be considered as your operator because it is a special symbols, but if you will remove all the operators, then the rest things are operands. That means x, y and 59 are operands. That means the variables or the values on which the operator acts are known as the operands. So in this case x, y and 59 are operands, and similarly is equal to and plus symbols are operators. So these are all about the operator and operands. Next we will be discussing about the types of operator. So in this you can clearly see what are the different types of operator. Here you can clearly see arithmetic operator, assignment operator, relational operator, logical operator, bitwise operator, increment decrement operator, conditional operator and modulo division operator. So you must be aware of arithmetic operator, that is your plus, minus, multiplication, division, etc. That means all the operators or the symbols which we use for arithmetical calculations are termed as your arithmetic operator. Similarly, the next one is your assignment operator. So any operator that is equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, and all those operators which are used for assigning some value to a variable are called as your assignment operator. Next is your relational operator. The operator which actually brings relation in between any variables are known as your relational operator, that is your equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to. So these are some of the examples of relational operator. Next one is your logical operator. That means in our program when we will be using any operator for writing any logical operations, then we use the logical operator, that is double ampersand is for and double stick is your OR operator. So, logical operator has two operators, that is AND operator and OR operator. Similarly, next is your bitwise operator. As you know that the program or the computer executes everything in bits, that means zeros and ones. So, bitwise operator are special operators which are used for evaluating the bits, that is your AND or left shift, right shift, which we will be discussing in our next classes. Next is your increment decrement operator. So, the operator which are actually used for increasing or decreasing the value of a variable, that we call it as a increment or decrement operator. Next is your conditional operator. So, the operator which are used for writing any conditions, that operators are called as your conditional operator. So, in conditional operator we have only two operators, that is your question mark and colon. So, while writing a condition, we can give the conditional operator, that is your question mark and colon. And the last one is your modulo division operator, that is your percentage symbol. So, in case of modulo division operator, if any value we are giving and we want the answer as the remainder of the division, then we use the modulo division operator, which we will be using while writing the program. So, these are the types of operator, that is your arithmetic, assignment, relational, logical, bitwise, increment decrement, conditional and modulo division operator. These are all about the different types of operator or different elements of C programming language. In next class we will be discussing the structure of a C programming language. Thank you.